What is up, everyone? Undead Nerd here, and I have just finished Undertale Yellow. Now, before I talk about this game, I might as well talk about the history of this game and what I think of the first one real quick. The first game is alright, the first one kind of has it has the Gen Z cutesy indie feel, stuff like that. I never even finished the game because the bosses were so hard. I swear I probably could have gone a neutral route because I killed all the enemies and spared all the bosses. I don't know if that's how all the routes work, but hey. I'm gonna water real quick. But I will say this about the first Undertale game. It has one of the greatest soundtracks in any video game. Like, I use the game's soundtrack in a lot of my videos. Like, in my every Fox Marvel movie ranked video, I used it in the Electra segment, because, like, she's a badass warrior, and Undyne is a badass warrior, and, I also used, some of it in my Santa Claus review, because, like, it was meant to be the winter theme, so, so as for the production of this game took 8 years to make. Alright, I don't know if it's because it's one guy, or he constantly changed up the plans of the game, but yeah, he got permission from Toby Fox to do this game, which, let's be honest, this game is so high quality because he wanted this game to be canon. You know that for a fact. But, yeah. But overall, I actually must say, I actually like this game a lot better than the first. Again, not that I hate the first game, it's just not my thing, but this game, it kind of gives me Mother 3 vibes. Again, I'm playing a pirated version of Mother 3, a fan translation version, and, I haven't finished the game yet, but, like, its themes and some of its elements, you could definitely tell, because, like, Undertale was inspired by Earthbound, you could tell this one was definitely inspired by Mother 3, even though this one's a prequel, not a sequel. But, yeah, so... But yeah, the 8 years to make this game part is pretty impressive. So, I've only played the pacifist route. I don't think I'm gonna play this game again. I wouldn't say ever again, because, because the bosses are hard. That's my main flaw with both games. The bosses are way too hard. I hate to sound like a games journalist, but no one takes them seriously. But yeah, I'm sick of hard bosses in video games. I'm sorry, Cuphead, Kingdom Hearts, it gets annoying. I haven't played Elden Ring, but I have heard that those are really hard. But yeah, so the story of this game is, so basically in the original Undertale game, there's all these different souls. They're all different colors, and you play as the human who possessed the yellow skull, not skull, soul. Actually, I'm gonna call them skulls through the rest of the video, because skulls is more badass than souls. But yeah, I'm a fan of the Mayans, for crying out loud, so of course I'm gonna use skulls. So he's out to look for the rest of the kids, who are the rest of the 7 skulls, and then he goes into the underworld with all the monsters. So I'd say the first act of this game has what I didn't like about the first game. Again, the cutesy indie Gen Z kind of shit, but yeah, but I just really like how you meet it up with Toriel in the beginning, and then you fucking never see her in the rest of the game. Like, you just pull a switch and then boom, you're deeper, bitch. And there's also this vampire character, which I mean, I like his idea. Like, he's a lonely bastard and he's a wannabe children's book author, but again, cutesy. There is one cutesy character in the game that I do like, but I'll get to that in a bit. But I'd say another flaw I have with this game is that it's kinda the same as the first. Like, its levels and, okay, I wouldn't say it's story, but at least its levels and, like, its goals. Like, like the original game had a snow level and a lab level. This game has a snow level and a lab level. Like that's all I could think of. But all that aside, there is a lot of originality in this game. So, I think I might as well talk about the gameplay here real quick. Okay, so again, I played the pacifist route. In fact, I bought this game because of the pacifist route, because it actually felt really interesting to me. But you can use a gun in this game. You could use a gun. That's awesome, bitch. I'd say the part that is a pain in the ass to get used to is the orange and the blue lines, like one of them you have to move, one of them you have to say. That takes a little bit to get used to, but Yeah, but overall it's good. But yeah, there's a lot of cowboy elements in this game too. Like, I'm not gonna go out of a limb and say the creator of this game is like a fan of Western movies. I mean, it could be possible because Starlo is a Western-inspired character. Like, he's a character who's playing pretend, and Clover is also a Western-inspired character. And the reason why I say there's some other three comparisons because, like, you know, Lucas's dad, I forgot his name. I accidentally named him. You see, Lucas's dad wears a cowboy hat, and Clover wears a cowboy hat, so that's where I think some of the comparisons come from. And so yeah, so basically I call Clover Clint Eastwood because I think it's funny. But yeah. So before we get into other stuff about this game, I think I should maybe name a few other flaws. This one flaw I think is gonna turn some people off, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I'm gonna speak my mind. At one point in this game, the pronoun usage got insufferable. Like, there's a lot of parts in this game where they use, like, the they pronoun. Like, not because there's any character who identifies as that, but it's because, like, you know, it's the modern day thing, like, we don't want to assume gender, or this or that. But, they refer a lot of characters who we don't know about as they because we don't know their gender. See what I did there? But I did that on an accident. And then, like, you know, Chujin, when he was talking about an unknown human, he called him they. It's like, oh my god, shut up. It's only in recent media that I've seen. It's recent media and recent people that I've seen using they more a lot. Like, not just for people who identify that way, but for but for not assuming gender. There's like two wars in the world going on right now, and I'm gonna get a text saying that I have AIDS in the future. And yet you're more concerned about that? Yeah, sure. This is why we're all gonna die. So yeah. There is, however, first of all, Clover, they do refer to Clover as they. Apparently it's because, like, so the player could see him or herself in the character, you know, so you can interpret who the character is, you know, which I don't think it's a bad idea on paper, but come on, Frisk in the last game was 10 times easier to like, you know, have your interpretations. Like, he's literally Asian Dora the Explorer, for crying out loud. But Clover, nah, that guy's clearly a dude. There also is a, I don't remember the name of the character, so I'm gonna call him the non-binary creature from the Black Lagoon, because I think it's funny, alright? Don't judge me. So, basically, they don't really confirm the character is like that in the game. Apparently, it's been confirmed somewhere else outside of the game. I don't know, I don't care, but I will say this, though. I'm actually fine with it. Why? Because a non-binary creature from the Black Lagoon in Undertale makes a lot more sense than a lesbian-coded romance in Ghostbusters. Oh! What I'm trying to say is, particularly when it comes to this subject, there are some franchises that work better with it than others. Like Undertale, I say, because, like, of its world and its predominant fan base. It definitely doesn't work with Ghostbusters because of what that franchise is. Like, who that franchise was meant for in the first place. But yeah, overall, you know, I'm cool with it. Oh, there was also a part in the game where they mentioned, that, Axis the robot's, lover is a they. I think it's because you can customize the robot, so you could say it's a male or a female, which I think it's cool to do that, because, you know, if it's someone like me who's tired of having this subject shoved in his face, you know, I could, you know, make a character and just give it a pronoun or whatever. I don't know why I'm talking about this on my channel. I'm a conservative, who cares? But and for people who are dying for representation, that's also gonna work with them too. So yeah, I appreciate it. So yeah, all that aside, let's get on to the characters. So first of all, there's Martlet, who's the only cutesy character I do like in this game. And, you know, it's mostly because she doesn't have a cute design, but she does have a cute voice, and, like, her personality is more of the apologetic type. I'd say my main flaw with her is that she's kind of a copy of Papyrus in a way. Like, you know, she's part of the, at least, well, Papyrus was not part of the Royal Guard from what I remember, but, you know, she's at least something to do with the Royal Guard, and she creates puzzles. I actually liked her puzzles in this game better than, in the original game, by the way. yeah, she has a quirky personality. She knows when to say sorry when she can. You know, that's what makes her likable and stuff like that. And so as for everyone else in the Wild East, okay, so first off we got the non-binary creature from the Black Lagoon, like I said. We got a giant purple motherfucker. I don't remember his name. We got Ben Affleck's character from If. Not Ben Affleck. Will Arnett's character from If. I don't remember his name. And we got cutesy furry character number 505. Yeah, so many of those in these indie projects. Come up with something new, people. And then there's Starlo, who I kind of relate to Starlo a bit, because he's like a wannabe badass when he's not, you know, like he fantasizes himself being one. Like, I kind of relate to him on that front. And so yeah, I like the idea that the Wild East, it's called the Wild East, like not the West, the East. Like the East in America was literally a bunch of grass and a bunch of people in those fancy suits. Hoots. Well, like the West was like sand and people in those cowboy outfits. Like that is just great writing. That's a great idea. Oh boy, I wonder what cowboys would have been like if they lived in that area in real life. But yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed their story. But the character that I liked the most in this game, there's kind of a reason why she's in the thumbnail, is Soroba. And oh my god, I think if they just remove the Undertale elements, probably remove Clover as well, and like have all the original characters, including her as the main character, this might actually be one of my favorite games of all time. Because this character is just great writing, you know. There, I said it. There, I actually don't hate women. Now give Sector and Cyrax back their penises. So basically, she has a sort of friendship scenario with Starlo. You know, I'm actually kind of liking those kind of friendships, like friendships of the opposite gender, because like nowadays we live in such of this black and white reality where like people are saying, "Oh, you two are friends. You must start fucking each other now," you know, because people are so delusional now. So yeah, you know, I think it's time for, you know, the other part to have that kind of like friendship relationship and not loving. But yeah, so she was childhood friends with Starlo. We see a picture of both of them as kids in the game. She apparently Starlo was in love with her at some point. I don't know, I just heard that somewhere, not in the game, but yeah, so she meets her lover that she has her kid with, Chujin, who's this Japanese, Asian, Korean, Vietnamese, Indonesian, Australian, Afghanistanian, nerd. So Chujin is a nerd. He's a scientist, and so then they have a daughter, and then they both have a daughter named Kanako. I swear that sounds more like a Polynesian fruit instead of a. It's like what the kid says, "Mommy, I want some Kanako." Okay, here's your Kanako. This Kanako's delicious, and it's like a grape, but a pear, but it's not. I'm trying to make shit up once I go, but yeah. So basically, Chujin was a scientist, and like his daughter, he got a hatred for humans when Kanako was punched by a human, and so I wouldn't necessarily say he wanted to exterminate them, but he did grow a hatred, so he created Axis. And I don't really remember if they say how he died, but they do say that is a big part of his death, like him working himself to death. Like, I don't know if it's just stress to death, or worrying himself death, or maybe he accidentally got, like, you know, a sort of tumor from, like, his work or something. I don't know, feel free to correct me in the comments, but yeah, so he dies. He passes over his work to Soroba, who you know, gains fire powers along the way. And so Kanako finds out that she's different. She has a boss gene, which is passed down whenever a boss has a you know, so basically someone with a boss gene is immortal. It's passed down to their descendant, and then once he or she dies, you know, they're not immortal anymore. And so yeah, Kanako, against Chujin's wishes, Kanako wanted to be part of the experiment, while Chujin didn't want that to happen. He wanted her out of this. So Soroba, like, gives her an injection that could possibly, make monster kind. So basically, his entire goal is to save monster kind from humans. Like, at least he's achieved that goal, is what Soroba's trying to do. And so Kaneko unfortunately dies. Throughout the game, it's hinted at that she's still alive. She's just in a coma. They don't really necessarily say that she's dead or alive, but like all Soroba says at the end of the game is that, she lied about Kaneko, and that's it. So we're pretty much left to assume that she's dead. And so Soroba, on the other hand, she went to go live with Starlo, and she doesn't really like the whole cowboy shtick that he's doing. Like, she just stays in her. I'm sorry. One of the things that kind of makes her cute is her dress, her Japanese dress. And plus, there's that scene where she fucking smashes the damn TV screen when it gets out. It's like look at this picture from the Wolfman that's on the thumbnail. Look at it right now. That's my true thoughts on the character. Yes, I have a crush on the character. Fuck off. I had millions of crushes. I'm looking for my 2 more virgins because I had 70 now. I love being a Joker, but yeah, and it's especially so we basically hear her story with grief, hear her denial. We really sympathize with her, like, she allows us the player to do a lot of stuff. Again, if she was the main character and they just dropped all the Undertale elements and kept everything original from this game, again, this be a perfect game in my opinion. But Soroba's final boss theme is really amazing. A Mother's Love is what it's called. I've been listening to it a lot because it's actually really fun. It's really fun and it's really tragic. And like, at the end of the boss, when the mask, which was made by Kaneko before she died, she just breaks down crying. Like, we see an animation of her teeth. And, you really sympathize with her. Like, that was really hard to watch. It's not a cry-worthy moment. Like, it kind of takes a bit for people like me to cry, but I mean, like, the last few times I really cried in media was the Iron Claw and maybe Furious 7, but yeah, I'm not that much of a crier, but I do get misty-eyed. There's a huge difference between both, So yeah. But I chose the decision that you should spare Soroba. And then, Clover gives everyone his clothing and his weapons. And then he dies to sell his soul to Soroba. Basically, Soroba has been trying to kidnap, not necessarily kidnap, but at least trying to take Clover for his soul, because that was the only way to save monster kind from a future Holocaust or something. I don't know, monsters and Jews, whatever. I'm so stupid. Make sure you drink lots of water, kids. I wouldn't say Soroba's an antagonist or a villain or a twist villain. Like, it's really kind of hard to describe her, but like, it's really hard to describe her when it comes to this situation. But, yeah, you really do understand why. And then, like, if you choose the true pacifist ending, Clover decides to give his soul to her anyway. And, yeah, Also, I also want to mention that at the very end of the game, there's a tribute for a certain somebody. It says for Desmond. And for those of you who do not know, Desmond is the real name of Etika. And the reason why that was there was because Etika was a huge Undertale fan. I've actually been, like I said in my tribute, 5-year later tribute to Etika, like, I rewatched those streams, and everyone in the chat was, like, very fucking weird. Yeah, so everyone was very fucking weird, and, yeah, I miss Etika, like, there's a lot of people, like, usually I don't grieve celebrities because I don't know them, but, in the past, like, few weeks or so, like, I've really been grieving and missing a lot of people. I know I'm years too late, but it's like, like, Etika was really the first who I felt his loss, but then, like, like, I really look at people like, say, Bill Paxton and Gilbert Gottfried, or, oh god, who else? Carl Weathers, other people I like, they're nowhere, because they're dead. And again, this is more based off, Soroba's arc is more based off her grief from her family, but, you know, I think grief is definitely a good theme of this game. And, like, it's pretty relatable. Like, you know, like over the past few years, I just lost my great grandma recently. I had a tribute for her in my Ghostbusters review. I lost my dog Patch. I lost my cat October. That's my sister's cat. That's why she's named that. Yeah. But yeah, you know. Oh, so yeah, grief is not a bad theme to include in a game, especially Undertale Yellow, and that's why Soroba's a great character. But is she one of my favorite characters? No. I mean, she's kind of cute, but in a different way. But yeah, you know, if only she was a human. Also, before we fight that robot douchebag, Soroba establishes that she's afraid of heights. You know, I just want to grab her and say, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Fine, I'll stop being weird. Overall, I really like this game. One of my favorites? No, not really. But yeah, you know, it was really cool to play a game that's like out of my comfort zone cuz I'm into the more manly, the more adult kind of stuff. Well, not really full on that kind of stuff, but yeah, but that's what I predominantly, you know, consume. So yeah, I think it's nice to play something wholesome, you know, for a bit, even though it's not my main thing. So yeah, that's the end of the video, and I'll see you all later. Bye.